that performance this evening?
Yeah, I'm really pleased with what we've dished up the last 80 minutes. I think we've learned a lot of lessons from earlier in the season. We're playing the pitch better despite the really heavy conditions. And last week, we got a commanding lead, then let the opposition back in through our errors and ill discipline with penalties. So our ill discipline with the ball, ill discipline with penalties. Well, we've learned from that. This week, I thought we were very disciplined in all that we did throughout the 80 minutes, and really pleased with what they've done. And a stat I'm really proud about: we've played the last 6 halves of rugby league. We've kept the opposition nil for 5 of them. So we'll really be tested against Wakefield to see if we can build on that stat.
But a real commanding performance in difficult conditions.
It was, yes, very much so. Yeah, I think you've got to commend everybody. I think everybody knew the role, and I think everybody completed the role, and it was a good team performance.
What can you tell us about Jordan Lilly and Rowan Milnes and their kicking game this evening?
Yeah, well, it was tremendous, wasn't it? That's things about us progressing week on week, and last week we had probably a 6 out of 10 kicking game. When we'd had against Sunderbank, we had a stinking of a kicking game. Well, we've had a really quality kicking game tonight, and it just shows how they're developing as individuals and as a partnership and within the team structure as well.
And the forwards as well, John. Big impact from Eben Sker, as is come to be expected now of him.
It is, yeah. That's his job. That when you enter the field of play, you make a bit of a difference, and he certainly did that, as did Levy as well. I'm really pleased with all the bench, even though it was a strange looking bench because of the late pull out from Greg Johnson, but the lads adapted really well. And I'd like to give George Flanagan a pat on the back, because until 10 minutes before kick-off he wasn't playing, and then he is playing, and he contributed greatly in the changing rooms and on the field of play.
That obviously hasn't had an effect on proceedings, judging by the full-time score, John.
No, not at all, and it just shows again we dealt with that adversity really well.
Liam Kirk went off for a HIA at the end. Is there any news on that?
Well, it's the second time he's had a sort of a concussion. He's been brought off for head injury assessment, so he'll have to see a specialist now. So as soon as he's symptom free, we'll get him booked in so that they can have a real good look at him.
And regarding the defence, John, nil-in a side like Sheffield, who are going to be in the mix for those top 5 playoff places, that gives you a lot of confidence. A lot of boxes have been ticked.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, but we've got to acknowledge that perhaps they had some players missing, which they did. But we've also got to acknowledge that they had a clever halfback who I really rate in Anthony Thackeray, and we kept him quiet. We kept Jimmy Davey quiet as well, and we kept Isaac Farrell, who played really well against Batley. We kept him quiet. So really pleased with what we've turned up with tonight.
And Greg Johnson, what was that with Greg?
He pulled his quad. So he had a quad injury, but we thought it was cleared up and okay. But when he went out there warming up, because of the heavy conditions, he was just feeling it, and there's no way he could have got through he couldn't start the game. So we had to bring Joe Brown off the bench and then put George onto the bench. So, but as you say, they managed that really well.
I was going to say, it didn't look disjointed in any way.
Not at all, no, not at all, and that's credit to the players.
Mm-hmm. And you're saying obviously last week at Oldham it was a sort of 40-minute performance. The performance today must give give the players great belief in themselves, and they're getting that momentum.
Yeah, they're improving. They're improving. That's the pleasing thing. And I disagree with the 40 minutes. I'd say it was a 30-minute last week. So they've taken it from 30 to 80. So that's a really pleasing thing for me.
And you can now go and sort of enjoy the Wakefield game, can't you? On the back of such a solid performance.
We can, yeah, we can. We've got we've got a 50-50 league record now, with some real good points differential, which will stand us in good stead. And now we've got a week really where we walk away from the championship for a week, forget about it, and just roll our sleeves up and really see what we can do over at Wakefield.
And obviously it's going to be tough with a very quick turnaround, isn't it?
It is.
You've had a heavy pitch tonight.
Yeah, smart on Wakefield, ain't it? Yeah, it's Wakefield home game. They onto the Friday night, and so we've got to play on a Friday night. So, and also it's an evening kick-off as well. So, yeah, we ain't got that long to turn around, but Super League clubs are used to it, so we can get used to it as well.
Did you make the full 8 interchanges this evening?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. And we kept Anthony England off as well, because obviously next week will mean a lot to him. So we gave him a cigar and a brandy and said, just enjoy the last 10 minutes.
And John, Danwick Bullen, have you got an update on Dan?
Yeah, Dan's is waiting an operation on his patella tendon, so it's not looking good. But we knew that last week because it went down when there were nobody around him, and then it's always serious with joint injuries when that happens. So it's not good news, but we'll support the kid and hopefully he'll get back on the field. But I don't think he'll be back on the field this season.
And just finally from me, John, your thoughts on that reserve performance against Salford on Wednesday?
Oh, excellent, wasn't it? Yeah. Matt Dunn is doing a great job with them, and the lads who are playing are really buying into what we're trying to do as developing reserves. And I think, you can see with Brad Gallagher, he featured heavily in the reserves last year, and he don't look so bad now, does he, in the first team? And the same with Eben Skur, so it's really pleasing to see. And it's a way to develop players, that you've got a constructive pathway in which to develop and then bring players through into the first team.
And how important is that pathway? Because like you said, John, this time last year, Eben Skur, Brad Gallagher were playing in their midweek games, and now you've got Ethan O'Hanlon, Keelan Foster below, and they're going to be looking and thinking, we can do that.
Very much so. Well, they can do it. Yeah, they've certainly got the ability. It's making sure they've got the application, and then making sure when they get the opportunity they seize it, just as those two young men have.